Every Sunday, we gather by the fire and let the dark speak for itself. These are the stories people don't share in daylight. Welcome to Sunday Stories from Beyond the Pines.
All right, so this happened back when I was 26, working second shift out at Subaru in Lafayette. You know, the plant on 350 South, the one where half the county works. I'm on the line, bolting suspension cradles from 3 p.m. to 11:30 p.m., 5, sometimes 6 days a week. My hands are permanently black under the nails no matter how much Gojo I use, and I'm living off gas station coffee and Red Bull because that's what keeps you moving when you're trying to stack enough overtime to pay for a wedding you put on credit cards like a complete moron. My fiancée, Britt, she's 24 at the time, works nights at the Speedway on State Road 52, the one right by the McDonald's. Graveyard shift, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., pumping gas for drunks and selling more cigarettes than food. We're both dead on our feet, barely see each other awake, and the only reason we could even afford the $620 rent on this shithole duplex on 18th Street is because we're both pulling 60, 70 hours a week. The duplex is half a house, really. Bottom apartment's got some old lady who never comes out, and we've got the top half. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, kitchen smaller than my mom's pantry. The attic access is a square hatch in the living room ceiling right above the light fixture. Landlord swore nobody's lived up there in 20 years. First week we move in, we start hearing it. Slow dragging, like somebody in work boots crawling across the insulation real careful. Always starts around 1 or 2 in the morning, right after I get home and Britt's already asleep waiting on me. I figure squirrels, rats, whatever. Britt says it sounds too heavy for an animal. I tell her she's just jumpy because she watches too much TikTok ghost crap on her breaks. Then one night I walk in about 12:40 a.m., still smelling like hydraulic fluid and sweat, and Britt's sitting straight up on the couch in my hoodie, eyes red, phone in her lap like she's been waiting hours. She looks at me and just says, "Dusty, there's a man in the ceiling." I laugh. I'm tired. I think she's screwing with me. I kick my boots off, crack a Mountain Dew, and I'm like, "Babe, you've been watching too many of those scary stories on YouTube again." Then we both hear it, clear as hell. Drag, stop. Drag, stop. Right above the light. Slow, deliberate. Like somebody's belly crawling across the whole length of the living room. I grab the little aluminum step stool from the kitchen, climb up, pop the hatch, shine my phone flashlight up there. Nothing but pink insulation, cobwebs, and a couple dead ladybugs. Dust swirls around in the beam. I'm up there long enough my neck hurts. Nothing. I climb down, close the hatch, and the second it clicks shut, drag, 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 starts again. Britt whispers, "It only moves when we're pretending everything's fine." I want to argue, but she's right. We hadn't had a real conversation in weeks. We'd smile, say love you, kiss quick, and crash. Because every time we started talking about the real stuff, the $9,000 on a care credit card for her dress and the venue, and the fact I spent $400 on a used PS5 instead of putting it on the caterer like I told her I did, we'd both just shut down, too tired, too scared. Next 4 nights, it got worse. Every time we tiptoed around money, around the wedding, around how broke we actually were, the dragging would start. Then it turned into thumps. Then the drywall started bowing down in the middle like something heavy was laying on it, staring through the ceiling at us. Friday night, we finally snap. I'm home, still in my work shirt, grease and all, and Britt's crying in the kitchen because the venue called. They need another $800 by Monday or they're giving our date away. I lose it, start yelling about how she picked a place we couldn't afford, how I'm killing myself at the plant, how maybe we should just call the whole damn thing off and go to the courthouse. She fires back, how I'm a liar, how I told her we were fine, how she's scared we're making the biggest mistake of our lives. We're screaming so loud I don't even hear it at first. Then the ceiling starts cracking, little pops like knuckles. Dust pours down like snow. A perfect handprint pushes out from inside the drywall. 5 fingers, too long,
pressing out like the ceiling's skin. Britt grabs my arm so hard her nails dig in. She's sobbing, "I love you anyway, you idiot. We'll sell the dress. We'll get married in the backyard. I don't care. Just don't leave me." I'm crying harder than I've ever cried in my life. I get on my knees right there in the living room, drywall dust all over us, and tell her everything. How scared I am. I'm going to let her down like my dad let my mom down. How I'm terrified. We're too young and too broke, and I'm already turning into the exact guy I swore I'd never be. The second I say it out loud, the second we stopped lying to each other and pretending we had it handled, everything stopped. No more dragging, no more thumps. Ceiling never bowed again. We got married 3 months later, in her mom's backyard with 22 people, a sheet cake from the Speedway bakery case, and a $60 dress she found on Facebook Marketplace. Best day of my life, man. Sometimes, when money gets tight and we start doing that fake everything's fine dance again, I swear I hear one little drag overhead. Just a reminder. We still live in the same duplex. Rent went up to $780, but we make it work. And every night before we fall asleep, one of us asks, "We good?" And the other one answers honest. Because we learn the hard way. Some things only come out when you quit pretending. Anyway, that's the story of the man in the ceiling on 18th Street. If you ever rent the top half of that duplex, just don't lie to each other. He hates that.
This one still messes me up to talk about, and it all went down at the 24-hour Walmart Supercenter in Crawfordsville, Indiana. The big one right off I-74, exit 34. The one with the cracked parking lot and the McDonald's inside. Place smells like fryer grease and desperation at 3 a.m. I'm Caleb. Back then I was 24, working overnight stock, making $12.40 an hour before taxes. That's the job where you come in at 10 p.m., throw freight till 7 a.m., and pray you don't get mandated another 4 hours. My girlfriend Riley, she was 22, worked front-end cashier on the same shift so we could carpool and actually see each other. We lived in this one-bedroom apartment off 231, the one with the green awning and the stairs that smell like cat piss no matter how much bleach you use. Rent was $685, and we were always 2 bad paychecks from getting evicted. Overnight crew was small, just 4 of us most nights. Me, Riley, old man Daryl, who'd been there since the store opened in '98, and this quiet kid named Landon. Landon was maybe 19, skinny, always wore the same faded black hoodie under his vest, never said much, kept to himself in grocery, throwing canned goods like a robot. We didn't think nothing of it. Half the people on nights are running from something. Tuesday, February 14th, 2023. Valentine's Day. Riley and I had planned to grab Taco Bell on lunch and call it romantic because we were broke. Landon, no call, no showed. Manager said he texted something about a family emergency and then ghosted. Whatever. People quit Walmart like that all the time. Next night, we're in toys. I'm up on the top stock with the ladder, chucking down boxes of Legos and Barbies. Riley's down below zoning the action figure pegs. Lights flicker once, real quick. Riley looks up at me and her face just drains.
"Caleb," she whispers. "Landon's at the end of aisle 12. I look. Nothing but Monster High dolls and a crooked end cap. I climb down, tell her she's seeing things. She's been up too long. She swears on her life he was standing there in his blue vest, just staring. Then we hear it, the metal squeak of a stock cart, real slow, coming down hardware. Squeak, 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 like somebody pushing it with one finger. We both freeze. Nobody else is in that half of the store. Daryl's in dairy, manager's in the office. We walk toward the sound, holding hands like little kids. Carts sitting in the middle of aisle 7, empty, still rocking a little, like someone just let go. That was the first night. After that, Landon started showing up everywhere, but only for the 4 of us who worked that last shift with him. Always in the corner of your eye, always wearing the exact same clothes from February 14th, black hoodie, jeans with the rip in the left knee, name tag crooked. Never talked, just watched. The freaky part? He only appeared when me and Riley were fighting. See, Riley wanted to move to Indianapolis. She had a cousin who could get her into a daycare job making $16 an hour with benefits, real benefits, dental, vacation days, all the stuff Walmart dangled but never actually gave you. I didn't want to leave. Crawfordsville was the only place I'd ever lived. My mom was 20 minutes away. My piece of shit job felt safe because I knew how it worked. I was scared to start over. So we'd argue on breaks, quiet at first, then meaner. She'd cry in the bathroom, I'd punch a pallet till my knuckles bled. Every single time, Landon would show up. One night, we're in the break room going at it full volume. I'm telling her she thinks she's better than me. She's yelling that I'm throwing our future away because I'm too chicken shit to leave this dying town. Door slams open by itself. Landon standing there, neck bent at a weird angle, mouth moving, no sound coming out, eyes black like someone poured ink in them. Riley screams and grabs my arm so hard her nails draw blood. Then she just starts apologizing to him. "We're sorry, Landon. We didn't know you were hurting that bad. We should have asked if you were okay. We were shitty coworkers and shittier people." I'm shaking, but I add, "Man, I'm sorry I never said more than 2 words to you. I'm sorry nobody noticed you were gone." He just fades, like someone turned down the brightness on a TV. We found out the next day what really happened. Landon didn't quit. He hanged himself in the compactor room that Valentine's night, used his own belt on the railing by the cardboard baler. Manager found him at 6:45 a.m. when he went to run the first load. That's why nobody noticed he was missing. We all thought he walked out mid-shift like half the people do. After that night in the break room, me and Riley put in applications everywhere. She got hired at a daycare in Avon. I got on at an Amazon warehouse in Whitestown making $19.25 to start. We moved out of that apartment April 1st, gave our 2 weeks the same day. Last thing that ever happened. The night before we left for good, we went in to grab our final checks. Store was dead quiet. We're walking past toys one last time and the stock cart starts squeaking again. Real slow. We stop. Look down aisle 12. Landon standing there. Same hoodie, same rip in the knee. But this time, he lifts his hand and waves. Just once. Then he's gone. I still drive past that Walmart sometimes when I'm back visiting my mom. Lights are always on. Place never closes. And I swear some nights, if you look close enough in the windows, you can see a kid in a black hoodie pushing a cart. It ain't got nothing on it. Some jobs don't let you clock out when you die. And some jobs you gotta quit before they kill you too. Anyway, that's the story of the night stock crew that never clocked out. If you work overnights at the Crawfordsville Walmart, be nice to the quiet ones. You never know which shift is their last.
This one's the one that still makes me check the parking lot lights twice before I walk out at any store at night. Happened at the Walmart on the south side of Lafayette, Indiana, the big supercenter off State Road 26, right by the Veterans Memorial Parkway. You know the one. Garden center on the east end, always smells like mulch and fertilizer even in December. My name's Gage. At the time I was 23, driving delivery for Little Caesars on Sagamore. $9 an hour plus whatever tips didn't go straight into the gas tank in my rattling '04 Focus. My girlfriend Maddie was 21 and staying home with our daughter Oakley, who was 6 months old and the only reason we got out of bed most days. We lived in the shittiest apartment complex off Greenbush, the one where the laundry room's always broke and the cops show up twice a week. Money was so tight we ate cereal for dinner some nights. I'd come home smelling like pizza sauce and shame, hand Maddie a wad of 1s and 5s, and we'd pretend it was enough. One night in late October, I get off at 1 a.m., pull into the Walmart parking lot to grab diapers and a gallon of milk because Oakley was teething and screaming through formula like water. The garden center gates are half open. Weird for that late, but I figure some stalker forgot to lock up. I park close, run in through the side door. Place is almost dead. Just a couple overnight people zoning and one cashier up front half asleep. I'm walking past the garden center on my way to baby aisle when I see it.
A shadow, standing between the racks of dead mums and Halloween pumpkins. Tall. No face, just black, like someone cut a person shape out of the air. It's not moving, but every light it's under flickers a little. I freeze. Phone's in my hand. I take a picture. Nothing shows up but empty racks. I laugh at myself, think I'm just burnt out. Grab the diapers and milk, pay, and get the hell out. Next morning, Maddie's scrolling through my phone while Oakley nurses, and she stops cold. "Gage, who's that behind you in the picture?" I look. It's the receipt selfie I took for the rebate app. I'm standing in the baby aisle, smiling like an idiot, and clear as day, in the reflection of the security mirror above me, there's that same black shadow standing right behind my shoulder, only its head is tilted, like it's looking at Oakley's picture on my lock screen.
I blow it off. Tell her it's just a smudge. But that night, I'm on a delivery run, and Maddie starts blowing my phone up. "Maddie, there's someone in a garden center again. I can see it on the Ring camera across the parking lot at the liquor store." Me. "Babe, it's 2 a.m. Nobody's out there." Maddie. "It's standing under the lights waiting. I swear it's looking at the apartment." I finish the run, peel home, do an 80 down 26. Pull in, and the garden center gates are wide open now. Lights inside are strobing like crazy. And that shadow's just standing in the middle of the concrete, head turned toward our building, toward our second-floor window where the nursery light is on. I sit in the car watching it for 10 straight minutes. Doesn't move an inch. This goes on for 2 weeks. Every time me and Maddie fight, which is constant because I'm working 70 hours, coming home wrecked, and she's alone with a screaming baby all day, that thing shows up. Sometimes inside the garden center, sometimes just outside the gates. Sometimes I swear it's standing under the broken streetlight right below our bedroom window. The fights are ugly. She's screaming that I care more about tips than my own kid. I'm yelling that she doesn't get how hard it is to keep the lights on. One night I storm out after she calls me a deadbeat, just like her dad. I sleep in the Caesars break room. I come home the next morning with flowers and an apology, and Maddie's sitting on the couch white as a ghost. Oakley asleep on her chest. She looks up at me and says, "It was in the apartment last night." She'd woken up around 3 a.m. to feed Oakley, and the front door was cracked open. Chain still latched, but the deadbolt wasn't thrown. And there were wet mulch footprints from the door to the nursery and back out. Size 13 boots, but no tread pattern, just smooth prints like the soles were melted. That night, we're both sitting up with the lights on, Oakley between us, and Maddie finally says what we'd both been thinking. "It's not after us. It's after what we're turning into." I knew exactly what she meant. We were becoming the couple everybody said we'd be. Teen parents who hated each other before the kid could walk. So right there, 4 a.m., diapers half changed on the coffee table, we made a deal. No more yelling, no more storms outs. We started going to the free counseling at the church on 18th Street. I picked up day shifts at Amazon on top of Caesars so Maddie could sleep. She started selling plasma twice a week for grocery money. And every time we kept that promise, every time we talked instead of screamed, the shadow stopped showing up. Last night it happened was the day I put in my notice at Little Caesars. Came home with my final check and told Maddie I got hired full-time at Amazon. Benefits, $21 an hour to start. We cried, laughed, ordered actual food with a card instead of cash for once. That night, the garden center gates were locked tight. Light steady, no shadow. 2 years later, we're out of that apartment. Got a little house in Dayton now. But every time we drive past that Walmart on 26, Maddie rolls the window down and flips the garden center off, just in case. Some things follow you until you decide you're done being the person they came for. Anyway, that's the story of the shadow and the garden center. If you're ever at the Lafayette Southside Walmart after midnight and the gates are open when they shouldn't be, keep walking. Some customers never leave,
and some never should have been invited in the first place.
This one's from the Target on the east side of Kokomo, Indiana. The one off 931, right by the mall that's half dead now. You know, red balls out front, always smells like popcorn in Starbucks, even at 3 a.m. when they do price changes. My name's Ethan. Back then I was 25, working overnight flow team. $14.65 an hour, which sounds decent until you realize rent on our trailer off 35 was $950, and my wife Lexi was making $11.50 as a server at the Bob Evans on 31. We'd been married 8 months, trying for a baby, and every negative test felt like a punch in the gut. Target overnights are weird. Whole store's dark except the work lights, music off, just the hum of the coolers and the beep of the zebra scanners. Flow team's job is to unload the truck and push it all out before the store opens at 8. Me, Lexi, she transferred to nights so we could ride together. This college kid named Trevor and our team lead Ashley ran the whole shift. One Tuesday in November, the truck's late. We're sitting in the back hallway by the baler drinking gas station coffee when Ashley gets a page over the walkie. Flow to ladies' intimates, guest needs assistance at 3:42 a.m. We all laugh. Walkie's been glitchy lately. Sometimes it picks up old calls from days ago. Ashley keys up. There's no guests. Store's closed. Static. Then the same calmy woman's voice again. Flow to ladies' intimates. Guest needs help finding a size. We figure Trevor's screwing around. He swears it wasn't him. We go check anyway because Ashley's paranoid about secret shoppers. Walk through the stockroom doors into the sales floor and every light in ladies' intimates is on full blast. The rest of the store is still dim. Bras and panties are neat, but one circular rack in the middle is spinning slow, like somebody just walked away from it.
Then we hear her, soft crying, coming from the fitting rooms. Lexi grabs my hand hard. "That's me, Ethan. That's my crying." And it was. Exact same pitch, same little gasp she makes when she's trying not to full-on sob. The same sound she makes in the bathroom after another negative pregnancy test when she thinks I'm asleep. We walk toward the fitting rooms. The crying gets louder. Then it starts talking in Lexi's voice. "He doesn't want this baby. He's scared we can't afford it. He wishes I'd stop trying." I'm frozen, because every word is true. I'd never said it out loud, but I was terrified. We were drowning. Trailer payment, 2 car payments. Her insulin was $400 a month, even with insurance. A kid felt impossible. Ashley and Trevor bail back to the stockroom, scared shitless. Me and Lexi just stand there. The crying stops. A woman steps out of the handicapped fitting room. She looks like Lexi, same height, same hair, but she's pregnant, like 7, 8 months, belly huge under a red Target shirt that doesn't exist anymore, old style from like 2015. Her name tag says Lexi, 11/22/19. That's the exact due date we had written on the calendar at home before the last miscarriage. She looks at me with Lexi's eyes and says in Lexi's voice, "You're killing us both by not saying it out loud." Lexi, real Lexi, loses it, starts screaming at the thing. "Shut up! That's not fair! We're trying!"
I grab Lexi, pull her to me, and right there between the bras and the leggings, with that thing watching, I say everything I'd been choking on for months. "I'm scared shitless, Lex. I'm scared we can't do this. I'm scared I'll be a shitty dad. I'm scared every day that we're making a mistake even being married this young. But I want this baby more than I've ever wanted anything. I just didn't know how to tell you when we're barely eating." The pregnant Lexi smiles, real soft, and just fades. Leaves behind the smell of that coconut body spray Lexi wore when we first started dating. Lights and ladies' intimates go out one by one. Rack stops spinning. We both quit Target the next week. Used our tax return as a down payment on a little sub shop downtown Kokomo. The one by the courthouse now.
9 months to the day after that night, our daughter was born, November 22nd. We named her Harper. Every time we drive past that Target, Lexi rolls the window down and whispers, "Thank you," toward the front doors. Some guests don't need help finding a size. Some just need you to finally say the thing that's been killing you. Anyway, that's the story of the guest and ladies' intimates. If you ever work overnight at the Kokomo Target and the walkie pages you to that department at 3:42 a.m., answer it. Might be the best thing that ever happens to you. This happened at the Kroger on South 18th Street in Lafayette, Indiana. The big one by the railroad tracks, right across from the fairgrounds. Place is open 6 a.m. to midnight, smells like rotisserie chickens and floor wax, and the parking lot's always got shopping carts scattered like dead bodies after a zombie movie. My name's Braden. I was 27 at the time, working courtesy clerk/cashier hybrid, $12.80 an hour, which is Kroger code for do everything nobody else wants to do. My fiancée Shelby was 25, working front-end service desk, same store. We'd been engaged a year and a half, living in a duplex off Kossuth that smelled like old grease no matter how many candles she lit. Wedding was planned for the following summer, but every month we had to push deposits back because one of us needed new brakes or Shelby's tooth cracked on a popcorn kernel and the dentist didn't take Kroger insurance. One Thursday in March, I'm scheduled 2 p.m. to close. Shelby gets off at 10. We always meet at the time clock, walk out together, because the lot's sketchy after dark. 11:58 p.m. I'm helping the last cashier count down, and the service desk phone rings. Shelby picks up, listens for 2 seconds, face goes white. She hangs up and whispers, "That was me on the phone, asking for Braden to come to the service desk because my water just broke." Except she's standing right there, not pregnant, not even a little bit. We laugh it off as a prank, some high school kid with a voice changer, whatever. Shut the lights, set the alarm, walk out. Next night, same thing. Phone rings at 11:57. Same voice, Shelby's voice, panicked, crying. "Tell Braden to come quick. My water broke in the bathroom. There's blood everywhere." Shelby answers that time and just drops the receiver because the voice starts screaming her own screams, the exact sound she made the night we lost the first baby at 14 weeks, the miscarriage we never told anybody at work about. We both quit on the spot that night, just left the drawers half counted and walked out. Manager was pissed, but we didn't care. But it didn't stop. For the next 3 weeks, every single night we worked, because we couldn't afford to be unemployed, that call came in at 11:57. Same words, same crying, and every night the details got worse. The voice would describe the ultrasound we never got to see, would say the name we picked out and swore we'd never speak again, would beg me to choose her over the overtime, over the second job I was about to take at FedEx, over everything. And every night, Shelby and I would fight in the parking lot afterward. Ugly fights. Her screaming that I cared more about money than trying again for a baby. Me yelling that we couldn't even keep the lights on. How the hell were we supposed to raise a kid? One night, she threw her engagement ring at my truck and told me to keep it. She was done. That was the worst night. 11:57 hits. Phone rings. This time, the whole store hears it over the intercom. Shelby's voice, weak, saying, "Tell Braden I'm sorry. Tell him I love him. Tell him the baby's gone." Shelby just walks straight to the service desk, picks up the receiver, and screams into it. "Stop it! We're trying, okay? We're trying so hard, and it's killing us. I want this baby too. I'm scared too." Dead silence. Then the softest voice comes through the phone, still hers, but calm now. "Say it to each other, not to me." Shelby drops the phone, turns around, and we just lose it right there in front of the lottery machine. I get on my knees in my red Kroger polo, customers return cigarettes still in my pocket, and tell her everything. That I'm terrified of being a dad because mine walked out. That every overtime shift feels like I'm choosing money over a family I'm scared I'll ruin. That I want another baby more than I want to breathe, but I didn't know how to say it when we were drowning. She cries so hard she throws up a little in the trash can by the Coinstar. Then she tells me she's been skipping her depression meds to save the $60 copay. That she's scared if we try again and lose another one, she won't survive it. We sat on the nasty carpet until 4 a.m., holding each other while the night crew stalked around us like we were ghosts. We both put in our 2 weeks the next day. Used the tax return to pay a fertility clinic in Indianapolis instead of the venue deposit. Shelby got a day job at the credit union. I got on a Caterpillar making double what Kroger ever paid. The phone never rang at 11:57 again. We have a little boy now, born last October. His name's the one we lost the first time. We drive past that Kroger sometimes on the way to my mom's, and Shelby always rolls the window down and whispers toward the service desk window, "Thank you for not letting us check out early." Some customers don't want groceries. Some just want you to finally pay for the thing you've been carrying around too long. Anyway, that's the story of the woman who keeps checking out at the 18th Street Kroger. If you ever hear the service desk phone ring at 11:57, pick it up. Might be someone you love trying to save you from yourself.